episode.
WandaVision.
Right. Well, there was no WandaVision
No,
type
I know.
of what's it called thing this week. We just were in the real. There was no red pill or blue pill this week. It was just living in the real, drinking weird protein paste, just trying to grow hair and regrow atrophied muscles.
Paste.
Well, that's what they did on the Nebuchadnezzar.
Yeah, I know. I just
Anyway,
I just had that visual of that.
the with the glook. Yeah. Okay. So this week's episode was "We Interrupt This Program," and it was again directed by Matt Shackman, who has done all of them, and then it was written by Bobak Esfarjani. Let's go with that one. And Megan McDonnell, which we forgot to point out that last week. Megan McDonnell, who wrote last week's episode, is the writer for Captain Marvel.
The first one,
the second one, the upcoming. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
I got is she caught up on the dose part there?
Okay, is she the sole writer?
I do not know. I didn't look because I doubt I'm going to go see that movie. You and I had very different thoughts about this episode, and we'll dig more into it in our Patreon exclusive commentary. But I will say, this week, again, kind of non-spoilery, there wasn't a whole lot of WandaVision, and it was a whole lot of kind of Marvel fan service.
I don't know if I would call it fan service. I would call it there was a lot of the B and C team in there.
Oh, you're way too high in the alphabet.
Yeah, like
it's like the O team. Maybe even.
I know. No, I'll call them the G team just because the government.
Because the G-men. You're G-man here.
Yeah, no, it's funny. Yeah, when I said C team, I just finished watching Batman Hush yesterday.
Ooh, that's a good one.
And Nightwing called the Riddler the C-lister.
Yeah. Did you ever read the comic?
Yeah, a while ago.
Dude, the movie was fun.
Oh, the comic
is so good.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, it's a classic. All right, so we kind of we pick up at the advent of the blip, with folks returning from wherever it is that the folks were.
Yeah, and again, it might be the whole Endgame, Infinity War love, but like the way this episode started was perfect for me in a sense. Like there was just confusion and just again because we didn't really get to see in Endgame what would happen when people return. They played it for laughs in a way in Spider-Man Far From Home, but we never got that. Okay, what are people going to do when they wake up or when they get blipped back or what have you?
Right.
And then this gave us, and again, granted, it was only a couple minutes, but it gave us an idea of how hectic and how just panic-stricken a lot of these people would be just popping up out of nowhere. So I really liked that part of it, and that really drew me into this episode and made me wonder, okay, where are you going with this? And we get, obviously, because of it, we get what is her name?
Monica Rambeau.
Monica Rambeau / Geraldine.
I like Geraldine better than Monica Rambeau.
Yeah, so I really appreciated the start of the episode.
I loved the first 3 minutes of this episode. Loved, like watching everybody reconstitute from the snapping was great.
Yeah,
it was like you said. It was one of those things that like we've been really, really all wanting to see. And it's not like the people who snapped back, who blipped back in, and they were on a plane and then just plummeted to their deaths. but it was definitely very interesting. I thought the way the one doctor responded to Monica, and she's like, "Where have you been? Like, you just disappeared," like thinking that she just up and left. Was kind of cool because, you know, all these people have been living for the last 5 years without those people, and then all of a sudden, especially seeing it in a hospital, was kind of really awesome.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And yeah, just the chaos that was going on in that one area, just being a hospital, and just imagine that going on worldwide.
Mm-hmm.
Like that. Yeah, it was a perfect start to the episode. Wasn't a perfect episode by any stretch. You know,
No.
Again, we both have different opinions. I really liked the episode, but there were definitely issues about it.
Yeah,
it was missing, like you said, there was not much WandaVision, so it was missing that hook in the sense of the two characters that the show is about.
Right.
So
I called this. I told Angel, I said, this is an explainer episode. It's really all it is. This was 100% explainer episode. I'm curious if this has squashed a lot of the Mephisto rumors, you know, or theories that are going around, or if this is kind of like a backwards House of M where she's like, more mutants.
Somebody made that joke a while ago before the show series started.
I'm not gonna lie. If that's the case, I might rage quit Marvel altogether. Like, that is just the dumbest thing, and it's like, are you kidding?
That would be I do not do that.
So Monica showing back up at Sword, where she grew up in, apparently. So Sword has been around since the 90s. Yet at the end, did you finish Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
I did not. No.
Okay, I'm spoiling.
You can spoil it. You spoil it.
It's been a year. Well, maybe not a whole year. But anyway, so at the end of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., spoilers, they create Sword, essentially. They didn't join Sword. They're like, yeah, we're Sword now. And in this, they're like, hey, Sword has been around since your mom invented it in the 90s when she met, you know, Captain OP. And, you know, it's like, Marvel usually gets this stuff so right.
I guess I would call S.H.I.E.L.D., though, an outlier for the simple fact that, well, because of how they do the time travel thing and some of the stuff they do in there,
maybe
I don't think that. I honestly think they've redheaded stepchild Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. from the greater MCU.
Well, I mean, it had a lot of bad to it, you know.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
It wasn't until they started where they cut down to 13 episodes a season that it got really good. So,
which hint other shows,
but yeah,
especially CW shows.
Yeah, all shows, just no more than 13. Yeah. 10 is fine. Disney Plus does 8. I'm perfectly okay with that. But I will say, seeing Darcy Lewis, played by the wonderfully sarcastic Kat Denning, was great to have back. And obviously, Louis Wong, or I guess Jimmy Woo, played by the amazing Randall Park, who obviously has been practicing his close-up magic. When he did the card, if you haven't watched Ant-Man 2, the very quick joke will be missed on you, but that was wonderful. But yeah, so I think I don't want to go too much further into this because I don't want to talk about the end at all until we're doing the commentary, right? Because there is some cool stuff that happened that really is worth talking about, but I don't want to spoil it, and you guys have to pay to hear that.
And I think this is going to be a series where getting from, you know, once it comes out, like all 8 episodes are out, it's going to just kind of like we were talking about last week about, you know, episodes 7 and 8 of The Expanse go together. I think this is one of those shows that is a perfect example of, from episode 1 to 8, how important it is to get the whole picture, because there are still questions out there. And I think once we get those answers, we'll be able to come back and look at certain things and say, okay, this makes more sense here. this is better because of what came after it versus when we saw it. Could be.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
I will say one thing is when they kind of figure out that it's a TV show, we get to watch from their perspective, and we get to see some other things that didn't, like, quote unquote, make the broadcast for the first 3 episodes.
Yeah. So I did like that part.
I thought that was really neat. No, I liked it, and it was one of the cool things about the episode this week. But overall, I was a little disappointed.
But I'll be curious. I'll be curious to see how certain people that didn't like the first couple episodes, unlike us, I mean, we both loved the first few episodes, how they would react to something like this. Because, like you said, this is kind of an explainer, and stuff happens. And I think certain people that might not have appreciated the first few weeks of this show might appreciate this more, because to them stuff happens. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Explainers happen.
I was disappointed because they told me so much. They didn't show me as much as they've been showing me, right? And they told me this person is this person is this concept is this. The one other really cool thing is, like, kind of learning why the helicopter she found in episode 2 was a helicopter. And then the beekeeper, seeing how that person came to be and what happened to his tether, I thought was pretty cool.
That was awesome.
So, but yeah, it's just.
But yeah, there was a lot of tell in this.
There was a good amount of tell,
and like I said,
yeah.
I would really like to hear from some people who didn't like the first couple episodes what they thought of this one.
Yeah, if you didn't like the first couple episodes,
kind of because
you're still watching, email us or hit us up on Facebook or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just, I don't know. I really, I had high hopes for Monica Rambeau, because of who she is in the comic, and I felt like what we got was a brat. So. And especially because I thought to how do you say her name?
To Yona Paris.
To Yona Paris, thank you. I thought she was doing a fantastic job, and, like, she seemed super likable as, like, the weird ass Geraldine, who didn't know why she was where she was, and the kind of cliffhanger that they left us on, with, like, she has no home. I was not. I hope there's redeeming qualities to the characters. All I gotta say.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I didn't have the same issues with her as you did, although there were a couple of things we agreed on as well that kind of we both caught. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how her character develops the second half of the season, because this is the halfway point right now.
Yeah, we are in the home stretch at this point. We're in the back half of the season.
We're not quite at the end game, but we're
nowhere near the end game yet.
No,
I mean, well, end game already happened, so we're at the whatever the next end game is. So, end game part 2, Electric Boogaloo. We're not there yet. So.
But yeah, and it's, I have to say, there's just still a lot of questions about what's going on in this show. Even though they did tell us a lot, there's still a lot of unanswered questions. So I'll be curious to see
which I like that there's unanswered questions. You know, that's what I want.
I like that too. I don't
want them to tell me everything.
Yeah, I don't like getting spoon-fed stuff. I really don't.
It's because
I like
you didn't grow up getting to stuff. You didn't grow up getting trophies handed to you. You had to try and earn them.
No.
So.
Yep.
That's why. That's you know. That's why it's okay for us to wait for things. And, like, to be honest, like, knowing this is leading into Spider-Man 3, multi-home, and Multitude of Madness, Doctor Strange. It's like, if they didn't explain anything in this series, and it's other than, like, hey, we've opened a multiverse, I would have been perfectly fine with that and be like, we'll explain more next season. you know, or we'll explain more in Spider-Man, or we'll explain more in Doctor Strange. Like get me excited for that stuff, and then let me know it's going to tie together like the Marvel stuff has been tying together, because a lot of the things we keep seeing, I'm not excited for Phase 4 and beyond.
I'll just say I agree with that.
Like, I don't care about the Eternals. Not at all. I'll wait till that hits Disney. But it was the best
pitch. Yeah. That's where it might start off.
No, I mean if they haven't released Black Widow yet, they're not releasing anything on Disney Plus Marvel wise.
Yeah. I think that's good that they're it just depends on whatever happens this year, as far as, you know, if they just decide, you know what, screw it, we're going to release it in the theaters.
Yeah.
Because that's what they need to do.
Yep.
And that might help theaters. So, and I have no problem with going to see a movie. You know, I really want to see Black Widow. Eternals, not so much. Shang-Chi, meh.
Yeah.
So yeah, to your point, I'm absolutely excited for Doctor Strange 2, but that's what, a year and a half, 2 years away. Absolutely excited for Spider-Man 3. Excited for Ant-Man Quantumania.
Mm-hmm.
But those are, you know, down the road.
Those are decades away at this point.
But like what they have in the it might as well be. So, but what they have in the pocket right now with like the Eternals, I don't know. The most exciting thing about the Eternals is I think Thanos is going to be in it. So
no, the most exciting thing about the Eternals is Kumail Nanjiani got ripped.
Dude
got ripped, seriously ripped, and it's impressive.
Oh.
Like it was impressive when Chris Pratt got ripped, right? But like, go watch Stuber, and then imagine Kumail Nanjiani ripped, and you're like, oh my god, good on you, dude, good on you. So anyway. All right. So if you want to hear us talk more about this, because we're actually going to talk about the Pirates and Princesses op-ed in our Patreon exclusive thing. So, yeah. All right. Let's get to Winnipeg.